Well, I came over here and I initially I had a couple of job opportunities that but I didn't really know the industry that well in England. I sort of came from New Zealand and realised that I thought I wanted to have a look around a bit more, get to know the London design industry a bit better. So I started freelancing, and then just sort of gradually narrowed down the sort of studios I'd like to work at, and Magpie ended up being one I was freelancing at the time for a bit. And just a small studio, really creative, do great work and lots of good opportunities. And so the job came up, and I thought it was a good idea to take it. I don't necessarily think, but I didn't have like 5 years time I want to be here or specifically here. It was more my plan was just I wanted to do great work, and I just sort of tried to work my way into different studios and try to get into those sort of studios that do really good work to give myself the best opportunity to do great work too, I guess. And then the idea was then to try and get a full-time job if one arises, to then really get to own work from start to finish. Well, it's funny actually. I was thinking about this the other day because I was on my desktop. I went through a portfolio from about 2.5 years ago. I was flicking through it, and every job, well, half the jobs in there, or most of the fun jobs, were jobs that I'd sort of done outside of work, little jobs. So to think of my portfolio now, if I was to do it now, like all the jobs would be jobs that I've done since I've been working here. So for me, it's purely creative, being able to do creative work and get stuck in the workplace. I think that was the big change, the big difference. So it's been great. I freelanced here for probably about 2 or 3 months before, towards the end of, I think, 2013 or 2014. I freelanced towards the end of the year, and then I went back to New Zealand for 6 weeks. And then when I came back, there was freelance work again. So came back in, and I think someone had left by then, and so there was potential opportunity there. And I mean, I think when I was freelancing, might be like a year or so, where I've sort of realised that during actual work time I haven't actually done, had a great opportunity to do any creative work at work, when I was freelancing here, I remember there was a brief that came in, and was briefed out to the whole studio, a little identity job, and it was amazing. I remember going home that weekend and I was catching up with some family, and then I just had like a little sketchbook on the train. I was coming up with some ideas, and it was it was great. And I realised that I hadn't actually had a real live opportunity, that I hadn't had to go and like get hound off my sister or something like that. So it was really exciting. It was great that everybody got involved, and it wasn't just a job that was given to a specific person, and so it was that was really exciting. And it made me think, this would be a great place to work. Everyone gets involved, and there's lots of little creative, exciting jobs as well as sort of bigger jobs. I'd say that definitely, like creatively, we can't really fault the opportunities. I mean, it is what any brief is what you do with it, but I think I've definitely found a lot more creative satisfaction full time than I have been freelance. But then in saying that, I mean, I guess it depends what point in your career you could be freelancing at. So I sort of started almost the other way around, where a lot of people might work at a great studio for 5 years, 6 years, and then go freelance, and they've already got a great portfolio, and they go straight out, and they're probably getting work based on their work. Whereas I was at times doing it the other way around, so I really had to build that work up whilst also freelancing, and I might doing more freelance jobs where I'd be less, it'd be less creative perhaps. Yeah, I think so. I think it definitely is. I think if you're if you're happy just going from studio to studio, and you're getting paid well, I guess it could depend on different points in your career. So I don't know, maybe in a few years' time I was a bit older and a bit more wary, might be less inclined to really push to do creative work and be quite happy to, just sort of rest on the laurels a little bit. But yeah, I think it's probably down to the individual. Definitely financially, freelancing is, I'd say, definitely like more lucrative for sure. But I guess that does depend on how much work you have. So if you, like you say, if you take 6 weeks off, nothing's coming in, you're probably still paying rent. But I think if you're good at what you do and you've got a year's full of work, you're probably going to be earning pretty well freelance. So yeah, there's definitely that side to it. It's a massive bonus. I would say get an idea of what sort of studio you'd want to work at, which is great when you're freelancing because you get to work at all different shapes and size studios. And then I guess it would just be targeting the ones that you think do great work or do going to give you what you want to get out of it, and also it's a job where you can bring something to the table as well. But yeah, it's down to the person.